apparently there was supposed to be $1 million that Zip was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money and buying a nightclub with it.
That's what the FBI said.
So the FBI told Keefe D that Diddy paid the $1 million for 2Pac's murder and that the guy who was the middleman kept the money and bought a nightclub. So the feds already know that Diddy paid $1 million to have 2Pac whacked out. Oh my God, you guys. So I've been talking about this Diddy case, obviously, and we kind of had a lull in the case where it was like, is anything new coming out? Is the guy getting indicted? What's going on? And then today, like I don't even know what, like a metaphor for something huge happening. All of a sudden, all of the media is reporting that Diddy is involved in 2Pac's murder, okay? 2Pac's murder. You guys may remember 2Pac, single greatest rapper of all time, the biggest star in the world at the time. There's so much about that story. I've talked about it in other videos. We'll re-go over some of it. We'll talk about some videos here and some stuff where people are talking about it. But like, dude, this is different now, okay? The media is there. Like, this is everywhere.
Let's bring in former FBI field agent.
This is all over the place. Look at this, dude. Like, let me just go Diddy, 2Pac. Okay, look at this. This story is absolutely everywhere. And these are all from, look at 5 hours ago, 17 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 9 hours ago. All this stuff that people who followed this case have known for a very long time is all blowing up right now. Greg Kading was the lead investigator in Los Angeles on the Biggie case. He's the one that broke this thing wide open. And bottom line, when all of this stuff has happened with Diddy, the raids on his house and every other thing, you knew something had to change. Like, you know, an indictment's coming. And if they're going to bring an indictment, they're going to try to bring the house down on him. Now, is it possible they just do the sex trafficking stuff? Probably. But the fact that this is now, after this information's been out forever, this fact that Keefe D, one of the main guys who was involved in 2Pac's murder, has been talking about this, and he's openly said 1 million times that Diddy offered $1 million to murder 2Pac, which they then did. Okay. And the fact that no one ever did anything about it, you're like, Diddy's untouchable. This guy, no one's ever going to touch this guy, right? And guess what? You're untouchable, even if you don't subscribe to my channel, but I will touch you like air touch, like pat you on the back and say, thank you so much if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And then beyond that, I actually really want to know what everybody thinks in the comments. Tell me what you think about this Diddy case. Tell me if you think that he's going to get charged with this crime as you see more of the details, and I will read the comments, I promise. He's too big. He's too big to fail. Well, things have changed today, like I said, and we're going to go through this article right here because this is one of the bigger ones that everybody's reporting on. This is Greg Kading. This is the guy who broke the case. There is a lot of information in this article. Dude, 2Pac, I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Diddy, he for real might go down for conspiracy to commit murder. I really believe that now because that's how this works, man. The feds have been feeding the media information. That for sure has been happening. We know that because CNN has been very open with the fact that, like, oh yeah, you know, we got this from an information source with the federal agency that's running the thing, which is Homeland Security. And then boom, they've got this tape of Diddy beating up Cassie. Then they shared some other information to where I can't remember what the second one was, but we know the feds are talking to CNN and the media. So the fact that this is coming out now, the fact that they are talking about Diddy's involvement in the 2Pac murder, I think it's very likely he's going to get indicted for this, dude. So I want to go through this really quick. We'll go through a couple of videos just to kind of set the tone. I'll tell you guys what I know about this. And then, and then right here, dude, inside the break in the 2Pac murder probe. This is crazy. This is so crazy. I cannot believe this is happening. All right. So let's start right there, actually. Let's start with this one, and then we're going to talk about it because, man, if there's ever been a guy who deserved to go down, it's Diddy, and this should make everybody very happy. So let's watch it.
It has been in the headlines now for almost 30 years. The murder of 2Pac Shakur. And last year, after 27 years, there was an arrest in 2Pac Shakur's murder. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, this is a case I've covered really extensively. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested and charged in Las Vegas for ordering the murder of 2Pac Shakur and ordering his nephew, Orlando Anderson, to shoot and kill 2Pac Shakur. And, Suge Knight was driving the car, so, possibly killing both of them. And there's always been this talk, Derek, that by Keefe D. and others, that Sean Combs wanted Tupac and Suge dead. It was part of the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, and that Sean Combs possibly was offering as much as $1 million for somebody to take them out. You kind of looked into this, so tell us what your feelings are on Keefe D's claims.
Okay, so that is all exactly accurate. All of that is fully accurate. And here's the thing to keep in mind. You have video after video after video after video after video of Keefe D saying in interviews that he killed Tupac. I don't know what he was thinking. What was he thinking? I think I'm pretty consistent on that on this channel, where it's like, where people are like, yeah, you know, like what's his name the other day, who got knocked out, Adrian Broner. He's all, hey man, we got bodies, son. I ain't even playing, man. We already beat 2 cases. They done looking for. You're like, why are you talking about murder, dude? There's no statute of limitations on murder. Just because you haven't gotten indicted in 25 years, you think that they won't come get you if you admit to it on camera in these huge interviews? Idiot. So he's just talking about how he killed Tupac, and they came and got him. Here's the thing. So the guy is 60 years old, and we're, we'll get into the details of Greg Kading, the guy who broke the story, and Keefe D, the one who, is involved in the murder and who was saying that Diddy, had a $1 million contract on Tupac's head. But like, he's 60, okay? He doesn't have a lot of life left. If he gets sentenced to 15 years, it's done. You think he doesn't care? You think he's gonna do that time to protect Diddy? I mean, just to get a taste of this guy, all right? This is his interview with DJ Vlad, where he's admitting that he killed Tupac, and he's also talking about Diddy's involvement. Let's just watch this. You think this guy's going to keep his mouth shut now? He didn't keep his mouth shut in the media. Why would he keep his mouth shut to protect Diddy with the feds if he's facing life in prison?
In the book, you said the third day after getting back from Vegas, you guys met up with Zip in L.A.
At Wingstop.
At Wingstop.
Yeah. Not Wingstop, but Hot Wings. L.A. Hot Wings.
Yeah.
Vegas, where they smoke Tupac.
And I guess you said that Puffy called and said, was that us? And you didn't say nothing.
I didn't say nothing. Yeah, you're right.
There's also, you go into the book, that apparently there was supposed to be $1 million that Zip was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money and buying a nightclub with it.
That's what the FBI said.
The FBI said that. So
the FBI said that. The FBI said that. So the FBI told Keefe D that Diddy paid the $1 million for Tupac's murder, and that the guy who was the middleman kept the money and bought a nightclub. So the feds already know that Diddy paid $1 million to have Tupac whacked out. Couple questions related to that. A, why is he talking to the feds about Tupac's murder if he's never been indicted for it? How are the feds talking to him about it, unless the feds were already investigating it and they brought him that information while questioning him? Here's the problem with that, thread. Well, if he knows the FBI are investigating Tupac's murder and they think he's involved and they think Diddy paid him, why would he write a book saying that he did do it? This guy's not like the sharpest crayon in the box. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, right? Assuming that he's telling the truth, well, then the feds already know.
Yeah.
You guys never got any money?
Never.
For anything?
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. It seemed like Puff do that though. He seemed like every time some bad shit go around here, it look like it's some shit on the grass. He don't step around that shit. He get away from that bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about
and I think that leans into why he's having all this other stuff going on, or at least why this, I mean, not that the sex trafficking stuff is unrelated, is not unrelated, but if you're going to bring like a racketeering case against him, right? Where you're going to be like, this guy's dealing drugs. This guy is doing this. Oh, and we've got people testifying that he, greenlit a murder on a superstar rapper. Like, that makes way more sense to me, that they're going to do RICO predicates, because when they do it RICO, they don't have to prove each individual crime, right? Like, they don't need to, it's not like they're just trying him on the Tupac case and they're like, all right, well, what do you got? What do you got, dude? You got this one guy who says that you talked to him and that you offered $1 million. You got no proof. Okay, that's a bad case. But you throw it in as a RICO predicate, different ballgame. And you got all kinds of RICO predicates here. You know what I mean? And it's the feds. It's the feds. RICO all day, dude. Right? All right, so let's continue this, and then we're going to look at the actual article about Greg Kading and why. Because look, this is from 4 years ago. This interview is from 4 years ago, and that's my point, right? How did nothing happen from 4 years ago? Okay, but now you got it in the media, and Greg Kading could never get anyone to listen to him. Now you got it in mainstream media. Mainstream media. That, in my opinion, is very indicative that they are going to come down on him with this.
How you made a crucial mistake by having a big meeting in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it wasn't in the neighborhood. It was at a park outside the neighborhood.
Okay, in Cerritos.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the mistake that you made?
I said I was just going to get some bread from Puff to get us some guns because they kept on raiding our houses, taking our guns.
And there was informants that was listening to this whole conversation.
Yeah, they was there. Exactly.
And they reported that back.
Yeah. I wish you can enter the FBI's. They don't do shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Greg Kading, he was just a LA detective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he act like he made me crumble and all that. He didn't make me crumble. It's my friends around me. They took me down.
Right. Because, well, your whole life is being turned upside down at this point.
Exactly.
You had this multi-million drug operation done.
Yeah.
FBI,
Okay, so it sounds, I actually didn't know this. So it sounds like he got rung up for some other stuff. But, he says Greg Kading. He's like, Greg Kading's acting like he rolled me over, but he didn't. It was all the people around me. All right, so bottom line, okay, Keefe D has been talking about this murder forever, and now we get this article, which is so bananas. Like, this is really happening, dude. This is actually happening right now. This is so crazy to me, dude. All right, so this is the story that just dropped today. The Intelligencer, it's in all kinds of stuff, dude. The 2Pac cop, Greg Kading, the controversial detective who cracked the case connecting Sean Combs to the murder, and maybe he solved Biggie's too. All right. So one evening last July, a convoy of SWAT vehicles and police vans pulled to a stop in front of a single-story tan stucco home in the Las Vegas suburb of Henderson, Nevada. Area's residents. It was undoubtedly a curious scene. Yada yada. This is all we're arresting Keefe D. All right. So they arrested Keefe D, 60-year-old black man with a bald head. You guys just saw him, graying beard. Davis was instructed to put his hands on his head. Yeah, they write this thing like a book, man. It's like, that's why I'm trying to scan it, because not long after, Davis was arrested and charged with the 20th century's most infamous unsolved crime, the 1996 murder of 2Pac Shakur. How it took that long to ring him up when he wrote a book about it is absolutely bananas to me. Right? I mean, like, seriously. Like, right? Everyone knows, right? Everyone knows that night, Orlando Anderson, who was a Crip from LA and was a gang enemy of the Bloods, which was, Suge Knight's crew, the Pyru Bloods or whatever. And then also a direct enemy of Death Row Records. He snatched a Death Row chain. 2Pac and all those guys found out that he was hanging out in Las Vegas for the Tyson fight, and he was wearing the Death Row chain. So they went over and they whipped his ass in the MGM. There's a video of it. Everybody's seen it. If I show it right now, this video will get demonetized, so I'm not going to show it. But everybody knows that. Well, I don't know if you young guys do, but that's what happened. Okay, they kicked his fucking ass in a casino in Las Vegas. 1 million cameras. Everyone saw it. Everyone saw it. Suge ended up, Suge got a parole violation for that. He got sent back to prison for a few years. I can't remember exactly how long. And before he got out, that's when the feds froze his assets, and that's the beginning of the end for Suge Knight right there. But 2Pac later that night, 2Pac, Suge, and a crew of cars are driving from the MGM to wherever they're going to the after party. Car pulls up next to him, shoots 2Pac. He ends up dying. In the car was Orlando Anderson, the guy who they beat up. Keefe D is his uncle. Keefe D is in the car with him. Bottom line, everybody knows that that's what happened. And Keefe D goes out, oh, yeah, dude, I did it, man. It was me. And you're like, what are you trying to get out of this? He's like, I'm selling a book. You're all, is it worth the money to go to jail forever? Because, I mean, how would you not go to jail? Like, you're admitting to a murder. There's no statute of limitations. I don't know, anyway. So, So Kading found out that Keevy's been arrested. He's the one who had broken this thing wide open 15 years earlier. Okay, this is what we're talking about here. 15 years earlier, Kading had secured a secret confession from Davis in 2Pac's killing. But at the time, a legal arrangement had barred prosecutors from using the confession in court. Davis had walked free for years. So that must be why Keefe D thought he could just talk about it openly, which is kind of bizarre. For years, Kading had lost hope. I said publicly, I don't think that there will ever be an arrest on this. Now it appeared that something had changed. I feel that it's part of divine intervention. Most other people would call it karmic justice. So everybody started blowing him up when that happened. And I mean, dude, that was, so wait, when was that, man? So that was on last July. So that was July 2023. Dude, this could be part of the, well, actually I take that back. Usually when feds bring a big case against someone like Puff, it's like a multi-year investigation. So it's hard to say whether or not the murder was the kind of like catalyst for the whole thing that then turned into sex stuff, or if it's all together, like it's like, you know, someone brought it in, someone was the catalyst to start the whole thing, and now you're gonna end up. I'm telling you, they're gonna go RICO on him, dude. Because why would you not? You got, like I said, sex trafficking, drugs. You got it's a RICO case. It's a fucking RICO case. So what else do we got here? I'm sorry. I don't want to read this whole thing to you because it is so like I said, it's written like a novel. So it's, but I would highly suggest you guys actually just go read this thing. But he also talks about how he was blocked from doing Biggie's case also, because he basically proved that the people who killed Biggie was this crew of corrupt cops in the LAPD also. The Rampart Crash Unit guys. The most, well, maybe not the most corrupt, but a very, very corrupt crew of street cops that were doing, you know, they were basically responsible for breaking up the gangs in LA. And so they just became a gang with badges. Like they were just gangsters, straight up. They all went to jail. But they also, before that, murdered Biggie Smalls. And, you know what's funny about that? Actually, I heard, you know, people were talking about how Puff might have had Biggie killed. And I heard what some of their evidence was. And it was like the fact that Diddy flew out of LA the same night that Biggie got murdered. They thought like, hey man, would you do that, dude, if your boy just got killed? And I'm like, fuck yeah. If I thought that they were out to kill me too, I'd get out of that city. You know what I mean? Like if I thought I was a target and they just murdered my friend, it's like, I'm not trying to be insensitive or whatever. Of course, like I'd be devastated if my friend got killed, but like if I'm a target in a city, I got to get out of there. And if I've got resources like, you know, like Diddy, I just make sure that everything's getting done somewhere else. So I kind of gave him a pass on that. I'm not saying that he didn't kill Biggie. There's nothing that guy's a demon, man. He really is. He's the devil. Let's listen to this, because this is Greg Kading right here talking to Chris Cuomo.
Bill Carson, he spent years looking into the policing surrounding the investigations into the murder of Diddy's best.
I take that back. This guy is a former federal agent. Let me start that over.
Let's bring in former FBI field agent Phil Carson. He spent years looking into the policing surrounding the investigations into the murder of Diddy's best friend, Biggie Smalls, and that crossed over into the 2Pac Shakur murder investigation. Phil Carson joins me now. Phil, thank you for doing it. Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter. Thanks for having me.
So, give us the For Dummies version for people who aren't 6 layers deep into hip-hop about what could be going on here with the investigation of Combs.
Well, the allegations are that he was involved in a lot of drug trafficking, gun trafficking, human trafficking, and HSI is not going to try to obtain and then execute search warrants at his mansions unless they have some good probable cause to put in the affidavit, and the judge isn't going to sign off on it unless there's something there. So
right.
It makes you
now,
think that
we've all been assuming, Phil, that this is about drug, guns, and young women or men or whatever being trafficked for sexual purposes. You're saying, yeah, there could also be another angle, which is this older area of concern about Combs' criminality. Why do you think it, and what could be the connection?
Well, Keefe D has always stated that he was going to be paid $1 million or just over $1 million by Sean Combs to take out and kill Tupac. Now, Keefe said he never received that full $1 million, but ever since Keefe was arrested and they executed a search warrant on his house in Las Vegas, he's coming up on trial in June. And when people start coming up to trial...
Oh! So maybe that's why they're running this story right now. His trial's coming up. Dude, Diddy's going down, man. Diddy's going down. Diddy must be shitting himself right now.
They start talking, and they start saying things that they normally would take to the grave. So...
Well, I don't think Keefe D would take it to the grave. He clearly was very unconcerned about who he told that him and his boys whacked out Tupac.
Who's to say what he might be providing in regards to information regarding Sean?
Listen, guys get convicted on testimony all the time. All the time. All the time. On just a person saying, yeah, that guy did that. And it's just about if the jury believes him, right? And in this case, why would the jury not believe someone saying that Diddy did this when you're going to have all these other crimes that are going to be on video, dude? They're on video. So it's like, here's Diddy on video doing this. Here's Diddy on video doing this. Here's all this testimony of these horrible things that Diddy did. Oh, and then also, by the way, one of the predicates is murder. And here's this guy, and he's going to tell this story that sounds pretty believable about how, Diddy was a conspirator in Tupac's murder. Why would you not believe that? You know what I mean? Like, the jurors are people. They're just humans, and they're going to be like, this guy's a bad dude. Fuck him. Guilty, 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 guilty. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's probably enough. Honestly, the basic premise of this video that I just want to communicate to you guys is that at the end of the day, the mainstream media picking up these stories is not a nothing burger. That's super important. It means this is going to be a part of this trial almost certainly, because the feds don't want stories about potential crimes that they're not going to charge him for, because this is just as much about like the optics of the feds as it is about anything else. You know? I have a viewer of my channel who's actually friends with Greg Kading, the LAPD guy who broke the case open. So anyway, I'm not getting like too deep in the details because I actually might want to do like a video where I really take my time and kind of like put all the clips together to really tell a good story. I just saw this and I'm like, I got to do a video about this right now. Anyway, Diddy's going down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about it, and subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. Bye.